Hello everyone, welcome to Unacademy. Welcome to the new episode of MBA Junction 1.0 Career Talks with Rajul Khare. Okay, so this is me, Rajul Khare, and I've been taking this talk series from last few days about enriching students, about introducing to the people who have done their MBA, and they giving their experience about what was their experience in a different IIM or MDIs or XLRIs. So today we have a new guest with us, and for the first time we have somebody from IIM Kozhikode. So she's a student of mine, and I think I used to teach her when I was myself doing an MBA and MDI. I can still remember the fact because we have interacted few times in MDI. So welcome, Swati. How are you?
Hi. Thank you so much. I'm very good. How are you?
I am fine. I am fine. So welcome to an academy. Welcome. Thanks a lot for giving your precious time to us so that you can motivate students about guiding them about Cozy Code, your experience about doing an MBA. Because I can still remember 3-4 years back when you were a student, you were having a lot of doubts about which B school to join and all. So I think you will help the people on the other side and give your experience about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for starting such an initiative because I think something like this would have been really helpful at our times because we were really struggling to figure out which B schools are really good or if I should go for an MBA, what's the right time. And I think this will be really helpful for the
Yes.
aspirants.
Looking forward to it. So we have somebody from IIM Kozhikode for the first time in this talk series. We had people from MDIs, XLRIs, ISBs. So even from IIM Indore, there was one of my friend who uh, gave an interview. So can you just introduce about yourself?
Sure, yeah. So I graduated in economics from SRCC, Sri Ram College of Commerce, Delhi University, and post that I had a 1 year of work-ex at BlackRock, and that is where I was parallelly preparing for CAT, and I took CAT parallelly along with the job, and I converted IIM Kozhikode, and I went ahead with the MBA program. I also had calls from IIM Indore, IIM Shillong, and IIM Lucknow ABM program.
Okay.
And I think for me, IIM Kozhikode was actually the best bet because I was not really interested in the ABM program. And for Indore, I was not very comfortable with the batch strength. And I think that's what a lot of other people also feel. So I went ahead with IIM Kozhikode, and that's where I discovered new interests. And I switched from finance to marketing, and
Okay.
I started working with Nestle. And I got a PPO with Nestle, but that was not really through campus placement. I also took an online course with Craftshala. And that was the first year Craftshala was offering online courses for marketing across IIMs, and they offered PPIs to two people across IIMs, and I was luckily one among them, and I converted Nestle. And post that, yeah, I was with Nestle for a while.
Okay. So when did you complete your MBA?
I completed MBA in 2018.
You completed your MBA in 2018. Okay. So
Yes.
you before that you had a work experience of 1 year.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that's good. So, Swati, a lot of students have a problem in understanding the selection criteria or of older IIMs, especially Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Kozhikode, and Indore, because they have a very different kind of
Right.
selection criteria. So, can you just tell us about IIM Kozhikode? That how do you get into IIM Kozhikode? How important is the CAT score? How important is the profile? What are the dimension of the profile which they need?
Yeah, sure. So obviously CAT score is quite important, but IIM Kozhikode has given significance to a lot of other factors, including your class 10 percentage, your class 12 percentage, your profile about your work ex, and also they have a specific criteria for women. So they award extra marks to the women candidates. And recently IIM Kozhikode was also in news because of the strength of women candidates in the college. So they have been really focusing on gender diversity, and I think that's an amazing thing to do. So while CAT score is important, there are a lot of other things which come into play, including your class 10 or 12 marks. And a lot of times I've seen people who had like 99.9 percentile, but they just could not get through because of their class 10 or 12 percentage. And like you might not think it's a fair thing to do because you're scoring well in your CAT, but it does give you a good mix of people. When you're actually at a B school, you realize why this criteria is important because it's a good mix of people who have been consistently performing well and they have a good profile, and your people from engineering colleges, your people from arts colleges. So recently we've also seen a trend, and it's also there in the criteria that preference is given to candidates from, say, arts or basically non-engineering backgrounds or non-science backgrounds. And it just adds to the diversity, because even after giving this preference, when you see at the batch composition, you'll see majority of them are engineers. So you do need that different perspective which other people are bringing to the table.
Okay, so what is the CAT cutoff for IIM Kozhikode? That's a big suspense which is not clear from many years. I am also not able to understand it. So what is the CAT cutoff for Kozhikode? Because it changes every year. We don't know about it. So it depends on profile. But even if a profile is very good, can you get a Kozhikode call like SPJN even at 92 or 93 percentile, or it's like you have to get a 96, 97?
Yeah, I'm not really so we did not really discuss percentiles at colleges for some
Yes, yes.
reason, but I'm not really sure about 92, 93 percentile. I think 96, 97 is the minimum cutoff, but to be honest, I'm not really sure about the
Okay.
exact percentile that's a cutoff. I think it's a mystery for me as well.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So even the weightage of, I think, personal interview is much more higher than the CAT score there.
Yeah, right. That's right. I think that's something I missed, but definitely,
Yes.
because even the GDs, a few colleges, I think they don't even conduct GDs, but IIM Kozhikode gives significant weightage to the GDs and the interviews. Definitely.
Okay. So now I want to come about your experience in Kozhikode. What was your life there? Because we have heard a lot of times that it is one of the most beautiful campus out of all the IIMs. I've heard it. I've never seen it because I've seen other IIMs, but not Kozhikode as of now. So what are your views on that? How do you want to pitch your college to the students who are preparing this?
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely the most beautiful campuses that I've seen. And what different thing about the college that I would say, like what drew me towards the college, one was definitely the campus. Like when I saw the campus, I knew, okay, I don't have to think about if I want to go there or not. I'm just going. And secondly, there are a lot of other things which are attached to the college other than the beautiful campus. One thing which I really liked was the faculty. So the faculty there are a lot of professors who actually have practical experience in field, and after that they've started teaching, or they're parallelly pursuing some opportunities which are really giving them a practical experience. So I have never really studied Kotler for an exam during my MBA, which is like a very strange thing for people. And when I told this in my interview at Nestle, they were also pretty shocked. But that was just the kind of style that the teachers were really following, because it was all based on case studies. And that I knew all the frameworks, but I never really read Kotler specifically for an exam. So the kind of strategy the professors are really following, I really liked it. And there are professors, so there is a professor, Professor Sajid Gopinath, who is actually a CEO for Kerala Startup Mission. So they are pursuing great things parallelly, and they bring that experience in the classrooms, and which gives us a different perspective of what theory we are studying in the books. And to be honest, I'm not sure how much practically we can really apply all the text that we have read during our MBA, but these kind of things really help. And third, I think I would really like to mention the alumni network, which is pretty active, and we have quite a lot of get-togethers. We're meeting very often, and now during COVID, we have been having roll calls with the professors, with the alumni network, and they have sessions on how can you excel in, say, private equity or marketing field with alumni who are already doing so well in these fields. So I think these kind of things really can take you to places if you are in a college like this. And obviously it offers you a great brand name, like people obviously know I'm Kozhikode. So there are quite a lot of things which add value to you, and apart from that, it really adds value to you as a person. You just grow as a person when you're at a B school.
Okay, okay, that's good to hear. And one more point, you were telling that you transformed yourself from finance to marketing, and I just want to
Yeah.
hear out from you because you are somebody who is having a better profile. Okay, so you are somebody who's a pass out from SRCC than I am Kozhikode. Okay, so you will not find many people having good two good brand names in their profile, and so you must have studied economics in SRCC, I think.
Right.
Yeah, so you did eco honors.
Right.
Okay, so how did you transform yourself from finance to marketing? Did you pre-plan it before going for an MBA, or did you decide it during your MBA when you started studying marketing, or after your job, or after your PPO? What was your journey like?
Sure. So yeah, it was a very interesting journey, and yeah, I did not plan it before going to IIM Kozhikode or before joining at BlackRock or anything like that. So when I was working at BlackRock, I was enjoying finance, and uh, there was nothing like I went for an MBA because I was not liking the kind of work that I was doing, because I started preparing for CAT right when I joined my job. So I was quite clear that I wanted to go for an MBA, and I was honestly enjoying work at BlackRock. And then I got into AMCO Code, and I just thought that I've already experienced finance, and when I have an opportunity to go for an internship for 2 months, I would rather explore something else than go for something which I'll easily get. Because, like you mentioned, an economics grad from SRCC has high chances of getting a shortlist in any finance company that comes to campus, provided you perform good in the networking sessions or the aptitude test that these companies conduct. So I chose not to go for finance, and I did not apply to a lot of finance companies for internships. I applied only to JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, which was not advised by my seniors at all, because you know how random summer placements can get.
Yes, yes.
But I just wanted to take the risk, and that is when I actually took the risk. And honestly, I hadn't really prepared for marketing or other fields, because somewhere I thought that I don't really stand a chance, because I did not want to take the risk of letting JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs also go, and then taking the risk of sitting for other companies. But on the spot, I just had a feeling that I don't want to go for finance. I'm getting 2 months. I really need to explore. So I just let go of the finance companies, and I sat for all the marketing companies, and then I took all the GDs, and it was a very exhaustive process. And that's obviously something which my seniors had already warned me about. And finally and luckily, I got through HUL, and I interned at HUL. Now, just when I got my internship with HUL, and that is when Kraftshala also rolled out its marketing course, online marketing course. And I just thought that I should go for it, because I anyway I'm not really sure what marketing is, and I want to explore. I'll get an idea of what kind of projects can be there and how the field is. And I hadn't really paid attention to the fact that they were also offering PPIs and PPOs to people, because my motive at that time was only to learn and explore marketing and see if that is something that I want to do, or if I want to go back to finance. And my experience with Kraftshala was very amazing, because they had these practical projects. So Kraftshala used to have video lessons on, say, how brands come up with their marketing motto, and there are several ads. So how did they decide on the messaging for a specific ad? How do you target consumers, and all of that in a very practical manner, how brands have actually done it. And I enjoyed doing it. I used to sit till 4 a.m., 5 a.m. and do their assignments. We had group assignments. We also had live projects, and I was just working very diligently with the project because I was just liking it. And then I had my internship at Unilever, which was another great experience. I loved interacting with consumers and going for market research and everything. And that's when I realized, like, this is something I want to do in future. And right after, I could not convert my HUL PPI into PPO. And then I've gone for my exchange to Innsbruck. That's another important part of a B school
That's the best
life,
part.
that you get. Yeah. So I was in Innsbruck, and that's when I got a call from Kraftshala that you have converted the PPI and you have your interview next morning. So I'm in Innsbruck, sitting at 5:30 a.m., ready for a video interview with a senior at Nestle, and I barely had 15 hours to prepare for that interview. Post which I had another 4 rounds of interview with Nestle. Yeah, so it was an exhaustive process of the whole journey, from discovering that I wanted to do marketing and then deciding this is what I wanted to do. Post which I did have a few calls from consulting, but I think I was just too into marketing, and I was quite sure by then that this is what I wanted to do. So
Yes.
yes, I did not try exploring other things after that.
Yeah, yeah. So I also want to suggest students on this story that that is the reason why B schools take freshers, because they want people
Yeah.
who want to go with the flow. Okay, so you should not pre-decide a lot of things before going to B school, that you should make your career into finance or marketing or HR, or maybe HR as well. You can make your career in HR as well after going for an MBA. I was having a prof in MBA who was teaching us HR, and she was a CA. Okay, and she told that after finance she made a career into HR. Okay, so that's what we learned from Swati as well. That she was a commerce graduate, eco graduate from SRCC, and then she transformed her career from finance into marketing. How it was possible? Because she was ready to explore that thing. Because you don't know, maybe you have done. So I have also done my undergraduation as an engineer, and then I am right now in the entertainment industry. Education still I can relate it with the engineering, but I can't relate an entertainment industry, an engineer getting into an entertainment industry. And PPOs and PPIs, I can remember they are the main reasons where you can explore your life in B school. How random it is, and at the end of the day, it is so peaceful to get a job 1 year before completing your MBA because you can explore a lot of stuff there. Okay, so
Right, absolutely. Like, I think it's the best time to explore. Like, I think it was one of the best decisions that I took for not applying to finance company, because I don't think I would have discovered other things otherwise.
yeah, because in MBA you don't go there to choose a company. I always think you go there to choose an industry. And
Right.
if you love being the part of, because of COVID, I have seen a lot of people struggling. And one of my friend, he also told me that he's struggling in a travel sector, in a hospitality. The reason for that, I feel, is not because that sector is in shambles. The reason is that because you don't love that sector. If you have loved that for
Right.
that sector, you will even survive COVID, and you will be even able to do this. Okay, so even when I was a part of education industry, and when COVID came, and we transformed ourselves into online training, because we used to love, and then there are different options. I would have not easily introduced Swati to all the students, and that is one of the benefits of COVID, that we are not able to see that all the people are online, and she may be at a different. So we are able to connect to all the alumni of IIMs, different IIMs, ISB, because this is online. And I would have never thought doing this,
Absolutely.
because I've been there from last 6 7 years. I was never able to think, because I always thought कि अरे यार मेरे को किसी को सेंटर पे बुलाना पड़ेगा और फिर ये लेक्चर दिलवाना पड़ेगा, which was not feasible. Okay, so these are some of the benefits of COVID as well, which I think. So, Swati,
Absolutely.
there's one more question which I am asking to all the people who are coming for the interview, and I also want to hear it out from the people who have done their MBA. That how are you surviving COVID, and what are your suggestions to the? And let's be honest about it. There's no point of, because students have a lot of doubts that whether they should go for an MBA, because there are certain and their doubt is good, because their concern is right, because there are certain people who are working as a consultant in EY, and now they are ready to, they
Right.
have cleared the call, and they are going for an online MBA in Mica or somewhere else, and they are doing a good job here. And because of COVID, everybody know that placement is also not in a very good position in the B school. So what are your suggestions to the people who have converted the call this year, or who are preparing for CAT this year, that whether we should go for an MBA this year, or shall we wait for 1 year if your profile is good and you are already in a good job? And how have you survived COVID?
Yeah, sure. So I would take it in steps. So first, how am I surviving, and how should people who are studying for competitive exams or who are working survive COVID? I think you just need to maintain that positivity in life and just hope that this is going to end sometime soon. It will end, obviously, right? So just hope that end is just somewhere near, and it's going to end sometime soon. And just be positive. Invest your time in productive things. You don't spend time. So initially, I will offer you a bad example. I was just tracking COVID cases day in and day out, and I was tracking cases for Italy, for Spain, for India, and everyone. And now I've just stopped doing that because it was just hampering my mental stability, and I was just thinking about COVID all the time. And I think now people still they've gotten used to it a little bit, but that anxiety is still there. If the exams are going to happen or not, if it's the right time to take these exams and all of that. For people who are still working in a corporate sector, they still have some stability around there. You're still getting your salaries, like for most of the people. And switching, you can just defer switching. If you were looking to switch to a different firm for XYZ reasons, you can just defer that decision to a few months, maybe till situation gets better. But for people who are thinking if they should take CAT or not right now, or if they're already gotten through it, if they should go for it, there are a few factors that would help you define. Number one would be your profile. uh, how, like, the amount of work ex you have already right now. If you are somebody who already has like 3 4 experience years of work ex, I don't think deferring your MBA for another year or so is a good idea, because the higher your experience is at a B school, the lesser are the chances of getting a lot of shortlists, because a lot of these firms have this criteria that they prefer uh, people who have lesser work ethics or they're freshers or something like that. So I think that's one reason which can help you decide. The second would be, are you very confident that you will be able to convert these calls next year? uh, I wasn't confident that I would be able to give in that much time next year, because I knew I can do better, but I was just not ready to put in so much work and energy along with my job for another attempt of CAT and not be sure that I'm going to get it. So that's another thing that would play a role. Third would be, what is your objective out of an MBA? Are you looking for a better placement? Are you looking to experience different industries? Or are you just looking for a better package, and all of these reasons which will help you decide. Now, one disadvantage that obviously people who are going in for MBA this year are going to face is the interaction they can have with faculty or their peers, because it's just not going to be the same as you are on campus and you're able to interact with 100 people at a time. You just will not get that opportunity to do it from your home. So personally, if you ask me what is my MBA minus the campus life, I'm not sure if I would have gained a lot, because there are a lot of things which you learn from people. You see them doing those things, or you speak to your seniors. I don't think you get that access to people and exposure to a lot of things, including all the competitions, the rigor that is there. It can be available when everything is online. And faculty has been compelled to change the way of examining students. Exams are going to be different, quizzes are going to be different. And I was just going through my posts, and I was reading juniors posting about how our admin was actually going on randomly extending or decreasing the time that was given for a quiz. So these are the kind of things which you're going to face. And when it comes to jobs for people, I think, who are joining this year or next year, I don't think job scenario should be that bad, because hopefully our economy is going to recover, and
And then
it
there are
should recover.
I think there are new companies coming in as well.
Exactly. And the whole, like you just said, the whole situation of COVID has opened so many opportunities for so many startups. It has given so many ideas to people to expand their big businesses or open new fields. It has opened so many new sectors that I don't think placements will be that big a worry if you say talk about it 2 years down the lane. And placements are, anyway, you can't really predict, because I think our batch wasn't very lucky with placements, and the batch uh, which came next to us was quite lucky with placements in terms of which companies came to campus and how many students got placed with XYZ package. So that's anyway slightly uncertain, but you really should decide if you want to go for it on base of things that you're looking to get out of an MBA. If it's just a package, then probably you might get it even with an online course. But if you're looking at entire experience and all of that, and you just might not have the liberty to take that break of another year. So if that's the case, then you might just as well go for it this year. So there are quite a couple of things which you can just map in, that these are the pros, these are the cons, and just weigh those for yourself and for your individual case, which can help you decide.
Yes. Okay. So Swati, one last question, that when the students have a lot of questions about how do you convert a call, how do you convert an IM? Okay, and I've always told them, I've always also told you, when I think when I was sort of teaching you that time, that you have to be honest about your profile and all those things. So can you share your experience about converting those IMs, because you were having a good profile, and how did your profile help you, and what were the questions asked even in your summer placements or finals, that how do you clear an interview?
Sure. Yeah. So before interview, one thing which really played a role in my entire preparation was I wasn't scoring too well in the mock, especially in the quant section, and that is how I started pestering you that I'm not able to score well, and that is why I came to MDI a couple of times. And I was just lucky enough that you were ready to take those mocks with me, and then you advised me to follow the 3 round strategy, and I was eventually able to improve the
Oh, you
score.
still
But
remember the 3 round strategy? That's good.
yeah, it really helped me grow my score from say X to Y. But one thing, so I always had a feeling that I will be able to do well in say LR or RC, BA and all of that. But I had a feeling that I will not be able to clear the section cutoff for quant.
Okay.
So I was there were a lot of times and I was just ready to give up, that this is not happening because I've taken so many mocks and I'm just not able to cross that line. And even after like attempting it a lot of times, I was still struggling to get a very good percentile in quant. And eventually I figured it's all about the D-Day. It does not matter how you're scoring in your mocks, and all you have to do is look at where you're going wrong, which I did. I took your help and I realized I was spending a lot of time in questions which were just I knew I wouldn't be able to solve them, but I was still spending a lot of time. And your strategy really helped me to get over that thing, and I stopped spending time on those questions. And eventually, it's just about the D-Day. So just do not give up thinking you're not scoring too well in the mocks or you will take it up next year. Just give your best, and there are high chances you clear it. Now, when you speak about GDs and interviews, uh, GDs have always been quite tricky because you're not the only person who can make it or break it. There are a lot of people out there who can really ruin your chances of getting in. So you have to make sure that that doesn't happen. And GDs play an important role even at a B school, because a lot of marketing companies conduct GDs before they shortlist candidates for interviews. Like Unilever, Nestle, all of these firms had GDs. So you need to make sure that you're very structured when you're speaking about your points. It's very logical, and you list down both positives and negatives. Now, these things sound very basic, but when you're out there, you're sitting in the setup, there are 10 other people who are shouting at top of their voices. You might just not follow this basic, simple strategy, and you might lose your cool. But that's something you really don't have to do. You just have to be consistent, be logical, be calm, and be structured. And when the group is digressing, just make sure you bring the group back to the topic, and you just be neutral. Don't be very pro something or very against something, because everything will have its pros and cons, right? So they're not really looking to have your opinion about a political party or something like that. And there are times when you will get political topics in your GD. So just make sure you're not putting in too political a view, because they'll just not appreciate that. And when it comes to interviews, I had very funny rounds of interviews. I'm in Dor. So at BlackRock, I was working in a financial market advisory department, and I was working as an analyst. So in consulting, you're just not allowed to reveal your clients, right? And I was still working with BlackRock anyway. And they asked me, so, okay, what are your clients? And I told them that's something I can't reveal. And they were just demeaning the kind of work that I was doing, because they were like, oh, you can't even tell us your clients, and then you want us to take to IIM Indore and everything. That's just a pressure test, and you have to know that it's the pressure test. If I tell them my clients, I'm just not being ethical, and I'm sure they will also not appreciate me telling them my clients. And I would anyway not do that with the firm I'm working with. So these are just kind of pressure tests that they will put you through, and you don't have to give in. Even at IIM Koikot, there were a lot of times when I did not know answers to a lot of their questions. My IIM interview was nowhere close to perfect, because I remember saying I don't know for so many things, and they were just okay with it. So don't be afraid in saying that you don't know something, because it's okay. They don't expect you to know something. I did not know something as basic as the exact location of Koikot in Kerala. And they were just laughing, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I'm bad at geography. And it was my bad. I did not locate it on the map before going, but I knew it roughly. But they were just asking me very specific questions, and I did not know answers to those. And that did not hinder them from not letting me get an admit to IIM Koikot. So it's just fine if you don't know a few things. You don't have to just speak random things, or just feel that
Yes. That
yeah,
is something which backfires in the interview. So if you are honest, that helps a lot.
exactly. And if you're just giving them random answers, they're smart enough to know that you don't know the answer to this question. So it anyway doesn't make sense to play around. So it's best you're honest, and you don't panic or get anxious if you don't know a few answers. Just maintain your cool and be confident. I think that's what worked for me. My interview was quite fun. I think I was laughing for most part of it. We were just having a fun conversation, and that was despite me not knowing so many answers.
Okay.
So I think, yeah, that
That is
works.
quite different. That is quite different, because not everybody has an interview like this when they get into
Yeah,
it.
I'm sure they don't. I think I'm Indore interview was nowhere close to this. I told you that it was a completely a stress interview, and I converted I'm Indore as well. So different interviews might have same results, and different people have a
Yeah,
different style of taking
even
interviews.
I realized it that all the IIMs interviews are a stress interview because all the only thing which is consistent in an IIM is a stress, or in a top B school the kind of
Exactly.
stress they give you in the placements, in the summer placements, in the final placements, they want somebody who can handle it, because even after those interviews there are few people who are not able to cope that pressure which you get in the summers and the finals. Okay, so
Right, and I think that pressure sometimes is criticized, but even that's really appreciated, because when you actually get into the corporate life, you will see that it's just refined you, and now you know how to cope up with
yes,
stress. So
yes,
it makes
yes.
sense.
Yes. So I think Swati, you have given us a lot of new knowledge today about I am Koigota, and I think a lot of people will be benefited from it. And I think more and more people will apply for CAT, and they will have a proper strategy about clearing CAT and getting into Koigota for specifically. Okay, so I think this is a moral duty as well during this time for all the people who are pass out from a good B school to motivate people who want to get into a good B school. And that's why I
Sure.
thought about starting this initiative, because I thought I am connected to my students who will also be a part of this and motivate all the students, give them a proper knowledge. Because even when I was preparing for CAT, I got a 99 percentile in my first attempt, and then I was not able to get a lot of calls from IIMs, and then I realized that second round is very, very different. So if I had somebody in my family or in my colleagues who has cleared IIM, then it would have been very easy journey for me, because I gave entire thing for CAT and I never realized that profile is also very important. And I think watching these interactions, you coming out, helping all the students is very nice. And I really thank you for this. And I hope we connect again and again for these kind of series, because there will be students who will be preparing for Koikote after 6 months or 8 months when they will have an interview. Maybe you come out as a panelist for an
Sure.
interview or something like that. Okay. So
Sure,
thanks a lot,
definitely.
Swati, for coming here. And I think it is one of the better interviews I had in the last few, out of the last few, because there was a lot of content in this interview. Okay. Less of faff and a lot of content. And this is what we love. Okay. The faff is I don't know if you guys also use it, but in MDI it was
Yeah,
used
yeah.
a lot of time. Okay, so I just want
Yeah,
to
we've
give
heard
a
it.
Okay, I just want to give a brief to students about Unacademy as well. So this is the YouTube channel of Unacademy, which is Let's Crack Management Exams. Okay, please like, share, subscribe this channel, and also subscribe to our Telegram portal where you will get all the information regarding my classes or the classes of the other faculties. This is my code RKUS. Please use this code to get a 10% discount on the subscription. So these are the subscription for an academy, which starts from 1 month and goes up to 24 months. So if you're preparing for CAT this year, go for a 12-month subscription, or for next year, you go for a 24-month subscription. Please note down my code, which is RKUS. You will get a discount of 10% if you use this code. Okay, so thanks again, Swati. So we are ending this episode here, and I hope we get somebody new from a different IIM next time, and I hope we get a lot of views on this video. Thanks a lot, Swati.
Sure. Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here. Thank
Yes.
you.